All right, joining me now is former Patriots Vice President and Chiefs GM, Scott Pioli. Good to see you, my friend.
Steve, great to be with you. Thanks for having me, truly.
Let's talk about this Patriots draft. They drafted Will Campbell, a guy you know very well. You know him personally, don't you?
Yeah, so the last couple of years I've been doing consulting work for Brian Kelly and the LSU program. And so I've been down there the last 3 years, but I get a chance to not only watch tape, but I spend time at practice. I get plenty of time to visit with the players. Brian has me talk to the guys and advise them a little bit. And I've gotten to know Will really well. And just to watch him, listen to him and watch him, and he's got this great, I think this great personality that has a great deal of humility, but also confidence when he gets on the football field. So this is a young man I really think is going to be the right guy and a very good player for the Patriots.
What about those short arms? Everybody's talking about his arm length.
Right? And I think, I understand it, but I don't understand it. So to me, again, you look at a guy like Matt Light when we drafted, people worried about his arm length. His arms were, I think, 33 and a half. Then we drafted Logan Mankins, another left tackle that we slid inside. His arms were 33 and 3/8. And Will Campbell's are 33 inches long. You watch him perform, and it never looks like a liability on the field. He's got athleticism, but here's the other thing about Will. Will is a really smart guy. He knows what he knows what he doesn't know. He knows what his limitations might be, so then he performs. And I think the other important thing the Patriot fans the other important thing is that, when we had Matt Light, Charlie Weiss was a terrific play caller, and Josh McDaniels is a fantastic play caller, and great coaches understand strengths and limitations because you have them all throughout your team.
Right.
So he will do things in terms of play calling to help assist Will and the other 10 players on the football team. They'll chip. They will make sure that they keep a tight end. They'll run play action. They will do things schematically that help players be better players. Will Campbell is a heck of a football player, so I don't think you need to worry about those arms.
You've been in these draft rooms before. You've been in plenty of them. Take me inside the draft room. When the clock is ticking, you're on the clock. How much pressure is there on the staff?
Steve, I think you feel the pressure before that, and because you're compiling information. And one of the great things about the football family business in this business that I grew up with, it was always about preparation. And when we were in the draft room, quite honestly, I never went into a situation, a circumstance, or a draft where I wasn't part of a group where we didn't feel prepared, or I certainly didn't feel unprepared. And I think that was the way everyone. Now we probably did more information gathering and more, film watching than we had to do, but we always felt prepared. It was more excitement, I would say, Steve, because that's the thing this is what I love about this time of year. It's the draft, it's the spring, but we're also looking at a new beginning. So to me, it's such an exciting time of year, more than it is pressure.
The Patriots needed speed. They needed a weapon. They got one in Kyle Williams. Do you agree?
Yes, I think they do, and they know exactly what they needed out of that receiver. Yes, he's got speed, he's got very good physical tools, and again, they will use him the way that, Josh knows how to limit limitations and accentuate the positive. So to me, I really like the young wide receiver that they selected, and I think Patriots fans will see that too.
And Mike Vrabel, Ohio State, he's got a love for Ohio State, so he goes and gets a back out of Ohio State. And TreVeyon Henderson. This guy is also a weapon out of the backfield. He's got explosive speed. Yeah. He can catch as well.
He really is. And we knew, come on, Mike's a homer. We knew he was going to get a Buckeye. I'm not surprised to see that there wasn't one Michigan guy on the draft board for them either at the end of the draft. So, but here's what I like about Henderson. He is going to fit this scheme well because where his yards came were not only in the running game, they were all-purpose yards. And a big part of Josh's scheme, and especially when you have a young quarterback, even our quarterback's only going to be in the second year, going short, going sideways, using the throws underneath, and using all of your people. That was a big thing in Josh's system, as you know, that Charlie used and the coaches before him. Use all of the available skilled players out of the backfield. So it just won't be as a running back getting handoffs. He'll be used in a lot of different ways, and that's the way he was used at Ohio State.
Mr. Irrelevant, Patriots got one this year, right? Kobe Minor.
Yeah.
Now, you've dealt with Mr. Irrelevant draft picks before, right?
Yeah, so back in 2005, when I was with the Patriots, we had Andy Stokes was Mr. Irrelevant that year. And it wasn't that much of a show back then. It's become a really big thing. But, and then again in 2009, when I was with the Kansas City Chiefs, we had Mr. Irrelevant and ended up drafting Ryan Suckup, who ended up being 14 years in the league, went to a Super Bowl. He was the all-rookie NFL kicker, set NFL records for rookies in terms of field goal percentage. But, going back to that 2005 year, when you're looking at Mr. Irrelevant and you're going down through the draft, one of the important things that you're keeping in mind is the strategy, Steve. And in 2005, when we got to the 7th round, what you're thinking about is who are we going to be able to get in rookie free agent by negotiation and by relationships and by opportunity, and who were the players that we're going to have to draft. And I remember in 2005, when we entered that 7th round, we ended up drafting Matt Castle.
Yep.
Because we didn't think we were going to be able to get him as, in terms of recruiting him. So we made sure we drafted Castle. He ended up playing 14 years in the league. And then the other person, when it was Stokes and Ray Bubba Ventrone, right? A terrific special teams player, now a coordinator. Yeah, exactly. Bubba. I saw him this year, and I was calling him Ray still, and he says, Scott, no one calls me Ray. I'm Bubba. Even my mother calls me Bubba. So anyway, when you get to that point, you have to figure out what you're going to do in terms of who you're going to try to recruit and who you're going to pick. And it looks like the Patriots got their guy in Kobe Minor.
It's amazing. Tell me about that set you got set up behind you, because that's pretty impressive.
These old things? Well, what I like to do, Steve, is, knowing that I'm going to do this, I always want to have a story back here, and there's certain things that I keep. And of course, I wanted to make sure that I had Randy and Brewski behind me, but Billie Jean King, Sports Illustrated, is always up there. And so is Coach Robinson from Grambling. He'll always be up back there. And then I swap out the inside ones in the middle. The books, of course, we know what they are. But these 3 books here, those are all first edition Martin Luther King books that I don't just collect books, I actually do read them, Steve. And of course, this little painting right here is from my lovely daughter, Mia. Shout out to Mia, who's getting ready to graduate from BC in 3 weeks. Can you believe it's over, Steve?
Unbelievable.
Crazy, man.
Times go by. Hey, last thought, overall, how do you think the Patriots did overall in the draft?
I'm encouraged by what they did. I really am, because people are looking at it based on needs, but I don't think that they went out of their way to fill needs. They had a lot of needs, so it was easy to fill needs. But they went through the draft and picked players that they really liked, and they picked good players. And as I looked at times when they got the draft, most of the players that they picked at those point in times, they were very good players, possibly, and I'm assuming the best player on their board at the time. So I really love to see the work that both Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf did, because Elliott Wolf, I know everyone talks about Mike, and Mike's going to be the key in how this team gets better. But the staff, Elliott Wolf and Matthew Groh and that staff, all the work that they did, Ryan Cowden, a ton of work. So Patriots fans, just continue to be encouraged.
Cam Williams as well.
Yes, exactly right. Great guy, Cam Williams. Got to know him. He's been there forever.
Yeah.
Talented scout.
All right, my friend. Great stuff. We plan to use you all during the season. Scott Pioli, the one and only. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve.